Hey everybody! Okay, so today's video is going to be something I've been meaning to film for a really long time. And it's going to be talking about my low carb journey. A lot of you who are watching this already know that this is something that I have been doing for a while now. We're going on about 6 months. And as the time has progressed, I have been asked a lot of questions on a daily basis. I get a lot of the same questions that I feel like I wanted to make a video about. I wanted to be able to answer all of those questions and teach you a little bit more about how I started on this journey. And so I'm going to keep this video pretty informative. I have a list that I can hopefully follow of all the things that I kind of want to hit on. And then I think eventually I'll probably maybe turn this into like a series kind of, where I'll go into more detail about recipes that I love. And as I start adding in exercise, maybe exercise tips, I can't even imagine making a video about that. This has been weird for me to adjust to. I don't recognize this person, which is the best thing ever. I'll kind of get into that a little bit later, but I'm still kind of new to all of this. So if you want to learn how I lost 60 pounds in about 5 months, then just keep watching. Okay, so before I get started, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. Anything that I'm going to be talking about in this video is something that I have educated myself on by doing research about low carb eating, about putting your body into ketosis, and that's something I'll explain here in a little bit. But I am not a nutritionist or a doctor. So this works for me. This works for my body. There's a lot of people that I know that this same way of eating works for. I've got a bandwagon behind me. I've turned so many people onto this and they have all been successful. But everybody's different. So with that being said, I'm not a doctor. So don't come yelling at me if this doesn't work for you or whatever. I pray that it does. I hope that this can help somebody because I wish there would have been a video like this when I was starting. I had so many questions and I just hope that this can help somebody out. So, like I said, I've got a list. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I guess I kind of want to explain a little bit of how I got to this point in my life. I had reached a crossroads. I was very happy in my life in a lot of areas. We have a beautiful home. I have an amazing husband who puts up with my crazy on a daily basis. I'm so blessed to have found him and found someone that can handle me because I'm insane. We have 2 gorgeous, beautiful kids. I live in a community that I adore. I have a job that I love. I'm about to start nursing school and I'm really excited about that. I've been successful within my school career, and there was one thing in my life that I was literally depressed about. Like, I'm not a depressed person, and this was something that I cried about almost daily. That's sad to say, but it was my self-image. It was the way that I saw myself. Not even the way I saw myself, the way I felt in my own body. I was miserable. I had gotten to the point, I was the heaviest I'd ever been. And a lot of people say pregnancy can do that, and which it does. Pregnancy has a huge effect on your body. Having kids changes you. Ladies, it changes you. But the reason I was the way I was is because of myself. There is nobody to blame but myself. I treated myself like crap. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't care what I put in my body. I didn't care how much sleep I was getting, how much activity I was doing. Like, I just had completely neglected myself. So like I said, I was depressed. I didn't ever want to take pictures, and when I did take pictures, like if someone took a picture of me and tagged me in Facebook or on social media, I would immediately untag it and then cry. Like, I hid behind my children in photographs. I didn't want to look in the mirror. Like, I didn't even want to see myself without clothes on. I didn't want my husband to see me without clothes on. I didn't get undressed in front of like my closest girlfriends who I knew could care less about what I looked like. I just was just not in a good place at all. And a lot of those things probably seem silly to some people, especially if you've never been where I have been. But if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's weird because I had this image in my mind of what I looked like. Like, I don't know if it's just based off of how I've looked in the past. Let me start by saying I've never been the small girl. Like, I'm not. My body, even when I get to my goal weight, I'm never going to be tiny. I'm a big girl. I'm tall, and by that I mean tall. I'm wide, and that's okay with me. I love my body how I'm built because that's how I was born, but I was always the big friend. I can't share clothes with any of my friends. I've always struggled with being the big friend. So, and I'm going to try to remain from saying fat because I hate that word. It's such a derogatory word. And I hated being called that, and I don't want that to be a word that I use in this space. So I'm going to say bigger or larger. So anyway, I was always the big girl, and to the point where I would get asked if I was pregnant on a daily basis, and cry. I cried at everything. That is the worst feeling ever, to be a stranger to approach you. Oh my God, how far along are you? Are you expecting a boy or a girl? And I would always I never really knew what to say. I feel like I would joke about it and just be like, oh, I'm not. I've had 2 kids, so I kind of have a baby belly, and the look on their face, it's so weird because I would always like feel bad for them. Like, even though inside, and it makes me rage, like, that I would never ask a woman unless she literally came up to me and said, hello, I'm pregnant. Like, I would never assume that anybody is pregnant. And I think it's because I've been asked before, but the part of me would be like, I don't want to embarrass them, even though this is literally the worst feeling in the entire world. Like, I was just tired of that. I wanted to set a good example for my children. Like, the reason I am this way is because I grew up with horrible habits. Like, I grew up never playing sports. I did like dance and stuff, but not on a competitive level. Like, I was never active, and I was never taught the right way to eat. Like, we were always just eating crap, eating McDonald's, Little Debbie's, like all of the things that I think that I love. Like, can you see that I'm like getting drunk thinking about those things? And so I didn't want them to grow up with those same habits and those same ways of thinking. I wanted my husband to think I was sexy. He never made me feel like I wasn't, ever. Like, he's never made me feel unsexy. But girls, you want to feel like you are attractive to your partner. You do. Everybody does. Everybody wants to feel like they are attractive to their partner. And I did not feel that way. Even though he always made me feel loved and felt attractive, I didn't feel that way. And then lastly, I wanted to like have that self-love again. I was tired of hating my body, hating the way I looked, hating the way I felt. Like, I had come to like I said, like this crossroads where I was ready to do anything. Before I got to this crossroads, I had tried it all. Y'all, I've tried everything. I've done those wrap things that you wrap around you and you get all sweaty in the saran wrap. I've done diet pills, both over the counter and prescription pills. I literally paid hundreds of dollars to go to a doctor and for them to give me pills that made me feel like I was having a heart attack. I've done Weight Watchers. I've done workout videos. I've counted calories. I had all the apps where I counted all the calories and put everything in. And yes, I was not consistent with those, obviously, because those do work for some people. They do. I mean, a lot of it was user error. I was lazy. But I am the type of person who needs quick results. I'm not patient. So those are all things that just were not successful for me. And even though other people find great success in some of the things I just named, it was not something that worked for me. So I literally stumbled upon this by accident. I was browsing through Facebook and saw one of my girlfriend's Facebook pictures. She had posted a before and after picture, and I see her on a daily basis. Like, we live in the same town, our kids go to the same school, and she posted this picture, a before and after picture, and she had lost like 40 pounds, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, because I never saw her as a big girl. She's built like me. We're the same height, same size, and I was floored. I was so amazed and so proud of her. So I immediately messaged her. I was like, girl, what are you doing? And she explained to me that she had started a low carb way of eating. And that's, I'm going to keep saying way of eating because it's not a diet. This is not something that you can just start and stop. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But when you hear me say low carb way of eating, it's not a low carb diet. It's a low carb lifestyle change. So, and I'll get into that in a second. So I messaged her and she explained to me what she'd been doing, what it had entailed for her, the types of things that I just literally picked her brain. And that happens to me constantly. I get messages from strangers all day, every day of the same questions that I had for her. So I popped open my computer, started doing some research. I really wanted to make an informed decision about this, because I, again, had tried I'm like at this point where I'm like, something has got to give. I've got to figure out something that works for me. So I started doing my research and started looking at other people's success stories. I started looking at like what I was going to need to change about my life, and literally learning what low carb lifestyle meant. And that's what I'm going to explain to you right now. So the way to eat low carb is to basically cut out everything that is delicious. No, I'm just kidding. But really, all the things that we are so accustomed to eating that you don't even think about is just so like mindless, especially if you have kids who like to eat kid food, or if you are busy and you're eating fast food a lot. Like, there's a lot of things that affect you very negatively. And I'm going to post up on the screen a pyramid that I've kind of followed and that I always send to people when they ask me, okay, so what can I have, what can I not have in low carb? I'll kind of go over some things, and I will link everything below, all the lists and stuff that have helped me. But basically, low carb means cutting out any unnecessary sugars. And those are sugars in the form of sugar, like cakes and candies and desserts and things like that, but also things like breads and pastas and rices and high glycemic, which means high sugar fruits and vegetables, anything that is going to give you unnecessary carbs. And those are either like complex carbs, which are the good carbs, or bad carbs. Then I went even further to realize that there's a way to eat low carb that puts your body in ketosis. Now let me explain to you what ketosis means, and I'm going to put it up on the screen, a definition, in case I forget or miss something. But what ketosis is it's training your body to burn fat for energy as opposed to burning carbs for energy. A lot of people who are like athletes and people who like run track and people who need to burn a lot of energy, they carb load before they work out, because your body is trained to burn carbs for energy. You literally need carbs for energy when your body is not in ketosis. Now, when you train your body to work in ketosis, it doesn't need the carbs anymore. It burns your fat reserves, which then in turn causes you to lose weight. So to be in ketosis, that means you have to consume 20 or less carbs a day. I was all about it. I was like, let's do this. I looked at tons of before and after pictures. I read hundreds of success stories. Like, I had fallen in love with this idea and this world. And the best part about it was I was like, I think I can do this. Like, as addicted to food as I was, and that sounds stupid, like addicted to food, that's real, you guys. Like, people can be addicted to food like they are to drugs and alcohol. Like, you can get a high off of food just the same you can get off of any other type of anything that gives you a high. You can lean on it for emotional support just like you do drugs and alcohol. Like, it's 100% the same. And people think that's silly, but it's true. When I was happy, I would eat. When I was sad, I would eat. When we would celebrate, what do? You go eat. You have cake for your birthday. Like, you eat. Eating is so linked to so many different emotions. And I was so ready to change my life. I didn't care what it was going to take. I get asked that a lot. Like, how do you do it? Like, how did you stick to it? How do you stick to it? I was done feeling the way I felt. That's the only way I can explain it. I was done. I had to make a change. I had to. So I sat down with Jason and I said, I want to do this. And he's heard it all. Oh, you want to take diet pills? Okay, well, if we're going to spend the money, let's make sure you stick with it. Like, I've come to him with a million ideas, and I think that he kind of had seen that something had clicked and that I was serious about this, and he was 100% supportive. We sat down and looked at Pinterest together. My favorite website ever, I feel like that's been such a huge tool for me, is Pinterest. You can find so many things on there, and I literally found, and I'll post it below, like a keto grocery shopping list, and use that. And made a shopping list and literally said, okay, I'm starting on Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. When I go pick up groceries, I'm starting and I'm not looking back. I am not going to let myself get to this spot again. Like, I will never feel or weigh or look this way ever again. I was done. I was saying bye-bye. I had to learn what my goals were. So the way that you do that is you need to, and I'll link it below, look at a keto calculator, a ketosis calculator. And what that does is it allows you to put in all of your information, your height, your weight, your body fat percentage, and it even has like pictures, so you'll know, because I was like, what is my body fat? I don't know, but it had pictures of different sizes of people to kind of compare yourself to and see what you matched. And then it's going to spit out a bunch of information at you and let you know what your macronutrients should be. So, and I'm going to call those macros. That's what macros mean, your macronutrients. And your macros are your protein, your fat, and your carb intake per day based on your body size, your height, your weight, your age, and your goals, if you want to gain weight, lose weight, or just stay in the middle. So once I found out what my macros were, I downloaded an app called Carb Manager. Now, I know a lot of people use the app MyFitnessPal, and I've used it in the past, and I still do sometimes. I still have it on my phone. But I needed something that was going to allow me to count carbs the way a low carb eater should. And it gets kind of complicated. I'm going to try to explain it the best way that I can. But when you're counting carbs, the only carbs that affect you when you're eating a low carb way are the net carbs, not the total carbs. So when you're looking at a label and you're needing to count your carbs, you're always going to subtract your total carbs from your fiber and any sugar alcohols, and that's going to give you your net carbs. So I downloaded the Carb Manager app and was able to input my macros goals, and I literally input everything I eat into that thing, everything, to hold myself accountable. It's a huge wake-up call, especially when you put something in that you eat all the time and you're like, oh my God, that has so many carbs in it. And I truly believe at the beginning, the best way to be successful when you start is to keep it simple. You have to be ready, and again, this is what worked for me, to eat the same thing over and over and over. When I started looking through Pinterest at all these recipes, they had tons of low carb recipes, but they were overwhelming to me. Like, they required things like almond flour and stevia and things that I had not cooked with before. So I kept it simple to the things that I was already familiar with. I already knew that I liked, that just happened to be low carb. My breakfast consisted of like a protein drink that I already knew that I loved. And lunches would be, you know, something like lunch meat and cheese and some pickles and celery and almonds, like things that I already knew that I liked. And then dinner, I'd always do real simple, high fat protein, because you want to be high fat when you're low carb, high fat, low carb, and a low glycemic veggie. I kept it very, very simple. I would meal prep and make the same thing for the entire week. And that first week, I started to feel different really quick. I wasn't as tired. I had so much more energy, and I'm a tired person. Like, I mean, even to this day, even being low carb, I can take a nap all day, every day. I love my sleep, but it wasn't to the point where it was like debilitating like it was. I didn't just feel sluggish all the time. And this is TMI, I'm just warning you, but I became more regular. I don't have a gallbladder, and for those who don't have a gallbladder, know that things can affect your tummy really quickly, make you feel very sick very fast, and that feeling went away. I felt more regular, and not just miserable and bloated all the time. And this was within the first week. And I also took measurements. That's humiliating and very eye-opening. I stood in front of a mirror with a sports bra and some shorts on, and I took pictures of my body, before pictures, because I had in my mind, I was like, I can't wait till these are before pictures. And then I also measured my body. I took measurements of my arms, my bust, my waist, my hips, and my legs, because I wanted something to compare it to, and I'm so glad I did that. So that first week was kind of rough, but in that sense, having to look at my body, remember I said I didn't like to look in mirrors, so I had to look at my body in a mirror in a bra and shorts and document that and take pictures of that. But after 7 days, you guys, I lost 10 pounds. In the first week, I lost 10 pounds. Now again, that might not happen with everybody, but I was like, this is working. Like, something is happening in my body. And I was hooked. I was like, I'm done. My life has changed. I have been changed. This is my life now. I'm low carb. I'm a low carber. I'm going to be in ketosis all the time. This is me now. My name's Rachel. I'm low carb. I was hooked. And I think seeing results when you're doing anything, makes it so much easier to stay consistent with it. Like when you're seeing and feeling results, it makes it easier to justify your choices. It makes it easier to say no to things that you normally would have said yes to. And that has not gone away this whole time. I've consistently, and every now and then I'll stall a little bit, but I've been consistently losing and consistently feeling better about myself. So it's made it much easier to stick with it. But I attest a lot of that to my pure desire just to be different, to change my life. Once you're more comfortable with a low carb way of eating and you start to see results, that's when you can branch out and start making recipes. Like, I don't even know who I am. I cook with almond flour all the time. I use stevia as my sweetener now. I've learned what does and does not work for me, and have become a little more adventurous when it comes to my recipes now that I know what works for my body. So take that time at the beginning to take it slow, keep it simple, and then you can start to look more into different options, different recipes, different things that you can make to where you don't feel like you're having to just eat the same thing over and over. Something else that has really, really helped me is surrounding myself with a good support system. Learning who I can and can't talk to about this. There's a lot of people that are and it's so sad, but they're going to get annoyed with it. They're going to like, oh my God, low carb, whatever, shut up. And those are not people that I really care to have in my life anymore. I want people around me who are supportive, who aren't jealous, because you will find people who are jealous of you. You will find people who want to argue this lifestyle, who will throw research at you. They think they know what they're talking about. And so it's very important to surround yourself with a group of people who are supportive of your lifestyle. And then on top of that, maybe you want to live the same way. Like I said, I have a lot of friends that I've turned on to this, and it's so good to be able to talk to those people about this and share recipes and success stories, and then also share when you've cheated and you've had a bad day and you ate that Snickers bar that you swore you wouldn't. It's good to surround yourself with good people who support your choices. And make that friends that are close to you. But there's also groups on social media that I'm a part of that I go to on a daily basis and just read through comments or see what other people are going through. So find yourself a good real life and online support system. I've also started an Instagram account for my weight loss. I have a regular one that I post pictures of my kids and, makeup and whatever on, but I started one specifically for my low carb journey. That way I wasn't driving people crazy with the before and after pictures and my recipes and things like that. So I feel like that's kind of my safe place where I can post things, and if you want to follow me, you can, and if not, that's fine. Whatever. Another really good piece of advice I have is to drink a ton of water. I notice that on the days that I drink water, I lose more weight. I do. Every now and then we'll have a low carb beverage or, iced tea with stevia or these carbonated drinks that I love. They're so good. But I keep it mainly to water, and I drink a lot of it. If you have to put like a timer on your phone to make sure you're drinking water, it's a huge deal when you're being low carb. And the way I look at it is your body is burning all of this stuff, and water, in my mind, this could be totally fake, but water is a way to flush it all out. Like, I feel like it helps to just kind of cleanse my soul, and it makes me feel better. And so drink your water. Drink water all day. When you're thirsty, drink water. When you're not thirsty, drink water. When you think you've had enough water, drink some more water. And then after that, drink some more water. And then another thing, I could probably, again, be crazy, but I don't eat after 9 p.m. I don't. Even if it's low carb, even if it's something that's really healthy for me, I do not eat after 9 p.m. And sometimes I don't go to bed till 2 in the morning, but I set a time, and that can be any time for you, where you stop eating at a certain time. Again, I have felt that I see more results and I'm more successful when I stop eating at 9 p.m. in the evening. That's my cutoff time. And I'm serious. If it's like 8:57 and I'm like, oh man, I still have enough carbs for the day, should I have that low carb ice cream? I won't do it. I cut off at 9 p.m. no matter what. So where I am now, I officially started low carb at the beginning of March. It was like the last few days of February, the beginning of March. And I am down 59 pounds. I'm almost to 60 pounds down in 5 months. That is crazy. I still eat plenty of calories a day. I stay under 20 carbs, and I've had a few cheat days, not very many. They're always planned. Always plan your cheat. I don't even say cheat days. I say cheat meals. Plan your cheat meals. My philosophy within this is to take every day meal by meal, because there's going to be a time when you mess up, and the beautiful thing about this is you can start right back over the next time you eat. So make sure you plan things accordingly. That way you're not going to binge or go crazy. Like for my birthday, I went out and had sushi, and I had planned it for a long time and knew that I was going to have to bust my butt to make up for it. But it's okay. It's okay to be able to indulge, because like I said, I love food. I love flavor. I love to eat, and that's okay as long as I don't let that take over my life. And my love for eating does not exceed my love for myself and my health and my body and my feelings and what's right for me. I hope this has been helpful. I feel like I just kind of rambled along. Let me know if there's anything else you guys have questions about. You can ask them down below. I'm going to leave my Instagram so you can message me on there if you want to, if you have any more questions. And like I said, I'll probably kind of make a series about this. I'll try to post more videos, maybe making some low carb recipes, or update you as I go along. But I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.